It is Thursday, April 17th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Pat McAfee. No, it's Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Sleeves apparently optional on this vacation.
You know, today's an easy work day for me, Chris. So as soon as I'm done with this show, this beautiful baseball show that we're doing, I'm going straight down to the beach. So I just wanted to dress appropriately. It's actually a little bit see-through, so a little bit, maybe it's rated
Whoa.
R, maybe a little bit rated X. Is that a thing?
Rated X. What is this?
That used to be a thing, yeah.
Okay. It's possible, I suppose. You look good. Just please, more SPF than 15 on there.
I got the base layer. I'm good now. I'm good.
Oh, God. Whatever. Enjoy yourself. Just be careful. That's all I care about. Want to let everybody know about Friday's show. We need your participation. Okay. Plouffe is enjoying the rest of his vacation with his family, which is great. Because of the schedule, I will be doing the show solo. So I'll cover a couple of topics, but then I want to answer your questions, okay? You guys have been a loyal audience that we've been building for years and years and years. You're smart people. Let's have some fun with the questions. Oh, hello, Liv. Hi. How are you?
That's hi.
Hi.
Okay, awesome.
She's going to go play tennis right now.
Well, now we know where the viewership is going to peak on today's show, by the way. Little surprise drive-by by Mrs. Plouffe. Wonderful. So the point is, and this is an AMA on Friday. Ask me anything, but get the questions in by, let's say, 10 o'clock Eastern on Thursday night. Okay? Get your questions in. Leave them here in the comments. Leave them on our social media channels. On these comments, the comment section is better. But this is a team effort for Friday's show. And I'll give you a little shout-out when I use your question. Okay? Simple enough. Plouffe, you can even throw in a question if you want.
I was going to say, can I throw in some questions?
Oh, please do. Please do. Once again, it's an AMA. Nothing is off limits.
The Twins are back. I'm going to ask you about the Twins and Eddie Julian.
Oh, yeah. Well, that sounds a little boring, but that's okay. I can answer those too. Start off with a tip of the cap. Really cool move by Red Sox closer Liam Hendriks. Rehab assignment in Portland. He rented a food truck, not only for his teammates, not only for the people that work for the team, but the people that work in the stadium as well.
That's amazing. I love the idea. I'm always fascinated to see what guys do for like their rehab spread, because you need to do something, especially when you have had the career like Liam. I did the food truck thing one time in Lehigh Valley, and I did it for both teams, but not everyone that worked in the stadium. So Liam, you got me. Way to go, man.
Yeah. I thought that was the one, that was the separator when they threw in at the end, everybody that works in the stadium. So for Fred and Sally, who are the, ushers that have been working there for 27 years apiece, they get to enjoy the food truck. I always love that.
Cool. Me too.
Very, very neat. All right. We're going to start it out in the Boogie Down, where the Yanks get a 3-game sweep in an ALDS rematch against the Kansas City Royals. And yes, somebody had to go on their belly to save the evening.
Line to right field. On the run is Bellinger. He dives and makes the play. And the Yankees win 4-3 on a sparkler by Cody Bellinger. And the Yankees sweep the Royals.
I suppose it was more of his side than his belly, but work with me on the words. One of the many reasons that the Yankees were so excited to have traded for him.
Yeah, I can just hear Yankee fans right now. No way Soto would have caught that. No way he would have caught that. But you know what? It's true. Jimmy and Jake pointed this out to me in the offseason when everyone was talking about Soto leaving. He said there was a lot of things wrong with the Yankees last year. A lot of things they needed to change, defense being one of them. Belly out there making those plays. Goldschmidt has looked good at first base. And Chris, if you look right now at team defensive run saves, the Yankees are second in all of baseball. So things have definitely changed from last year when, we saw the offseason, parade of the Dodgers basically just telling everybody that the Yankees couldn't fundamentally play defense. Things are looking a lot better in the Bronx, so I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I mean, as much as the Yankee fans wanted to take shots at the Dodgers, players that were taking shots at them, the cold hard truth was they were not a good fundamental baseball team. They were not good at running the bases. They were not good at playing defense and making just the basic play, let alone a game-saving play like that. I mean, I didn't see what the percentages were in terms of the catch probability on that, but I can't imagine that every right fielder in the game is getting to that.
No, it was a great play, a great jump by him. So, the jump helps, and the route was good. And Belly is, that's what he does.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the Yankees ended up taking a lead and eventually holding on to that one-run win thanks to that dude, Aaron Judge, who homered for the first time in 11 games. He broke a 3-3 tie in the 7th. The question with Judge here is that he's always been an elite player since he first became a full-time major leaguer. But it feels like the last 3 years he has become baseball's toughest out at the plate. Are you surprised that he now has that moniker?
I don't know if he is the toughest out in baseball. I think he can do the most damage in baseball. And, obviously he is the best hitter in baseball right now. But toughest out, I'd probably give to like a Juan Soto. Someone that has a little bit more, bat to ball than Judge. Judge just can take you deep anywhere. And that's kind of, when I think about Judge, that's what I think about. You can't go into him. You can't really go away because he has power to all fields. It doesn't matter that he plays at Yankee Stadium. He could do that in any park. And the reason he's able to do that is his recognition phase is, a couple clicks longer than anybody else's in the game because he gets his barrel in the zone so early. And what he works on with his personal hitting coach, Teacher Man, is firing from his back leg when his front foot is still in the air. So that extra time before getting the front foot down allows him to see the ball just a little bit longer. You see him firing from there. So that's when you're feeling good as a hitter. That's what you're doing. You're seeing the ball right out of the hand. You're giving yourself just that little bit extra time to recognize the pitch. And when he's doing that, when he's firing that early, there's just nowhere you can go. And that's when there are times where that gets a little bit off and he gets a little bit rushed. And that's when we'll see some of the swing and miss stuff with Aaron Judge. But the size, that because he has that extended recognition phase, it just sometimes it makes it impossible to pitch to him because of the damage they can do on all parts of the field.
Well, there's a reason that we've never seen a position player this size. I think it's a little bit like golf, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're the guy that stood in the box. But there's a lot of moving parts on a big man, and there's a lot of vulnerability, even though you can have tremendous plate coverage and utilize the entire field and have the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, particularly to right and right center, that a lot of right-handers just can't do. But man, that's what's so impressive. Like we've had him, we've had Giancarlo Stanton, we've had Dave Winfield. There's just not a ton of guys that have played the outfield. And heck, Stanton over the last, more than half of his career has been essentially relegated to DH because of health issues. But I think that's the point, is that there aren't elite ball players that are this size in this sport.
We're starting to get a few more James Wood, O'Neal Cruz, guys that are, I think James Wood is 6'7". He's a big boy. But you're right. When you have like long appendages, those long limbs, they do get a little bit out of whack. The guys with the short arms, man, like they can get their barrel to anything because it's the distance they have to travel is less. We used to say that all the time about Brian Dozier. Like, you can't get inside on this guy because he's just got the little arms. He just gets the barrel to it. But I agree. The big guys have to work a little bit more mechanically because, it does. It gets out of whack every once in a while.
You know what? So I brought this up to a few friends of mine and family members about Aaron Judge, and just in awe. I am. He's a fantastic player and everything. And then one of the first things they mention is, well, so why can't he do it in the playoffs? And I guess that's going to be that lasts with him. His OPS is, I think, like 250 points less than his career OPS. It's over 750, but it's not over 775. I forget the exact number, 760 something. I guess that's just going to be with him until he kisses the commissioner's trophy. Is that the deal?
Yeah, here's what I think about that. His playoff career is not over. Like, the story is still unwritten. Isn't that a song?
Could be. It's not. Why don't you record it?
Yeah. So maybe Judge should put that as his walk-up song in the playoffs. Then, bam, he's back.
I don't know if it's fair.
I love Aaron Judge. People, you know what? Like, we talk about him all the time. We give him his praise, but again, I just think he needs more and more just because of the way he's handled himself in that city. Man, he's the best.
Dan, producer Dan, nice enough to put in our comments section 835 career OPS in the World Series. By the way, yes, that's what they're going to remember about his World Series appearance last year. Dan, that's the one.
Oh gosh.
Hey, let us know what you think. Aaron Judge, like toughest out? Is he? Is he baseball's most disruptive batter these days? Does he have to keep doing more in the postseason in order to change his narrative? All sorts of stuff to chew on there. Why not? Meanwhile, across the country, Judge's NL MVP counterpart, he was doing more jaw-dropping stuff.
Marquez with a 1-2 pitch. And Shohei hammers it! Ohtani obliterated! 427 feet.
I think they later corrected it to 448 feet, if I read that right. It does sound different, doesn't it?
It does sound different off his bat. He just has so much power. I don't know if he's just like so biomechanically sound, what it is. The transfer of energy into the baseball is different with Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, it sure is. I feel like he hasn't been spectacular through basically a month of the season. And then I looked at his numbers. He's going to
They're really good.
If he stays on this rate, he's going to have close to 50 homers and he's going to have over 40 steals. But does it feel like to you that people will only get the wow factor with him this year once he incorporates pitching back into his repertoire?
I think that's definitely going to help, but I think not only do people have a little bit of Ohtani fatigue, I think they have Dodgers fatigue as well. We talked about them so much. They got off to that start. Now they've been losing some baseball games. But I don't know, Chris. I still feel like Ohtani's the center of attention, of most baseball shows, most baseball fans. So I think it'll definitely go up when he starts pitching. We'll remember, like, right now we just see him as this incredible 50-50 guy, this incredible hitter, still a 945 career OPS. But the reason we love this guy and are just astounded by what he does is because he can also pitch. So once that happens again, yes, we'll get the initial Ohtani shock factor back. But yeah, you're right. Like, his numbers are great. And we kind of think that he's got off to this like okay start, but no, it's 935 OPS. He's leading the league in runs scored. He's tied for the lead in the NL in homers. Like, he's still an incredible player.
Yeah, but I think part of it was that the season started in his homeland, and we knew how exciting that was going to be, and it lived up to the moment. He went deep. There's all these amazing stories about how he couldn't even leave his hotel because it's too much of a commotion. And so we have that high. And now, I think he came home. Didn't he hit a home run on his bobblehead night?
He did.
That was exciting. And then the Dodgers have just kind of been like this. They had a terrible East Coast road trip through Philadelphia and Washington. And now we're just like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll see in the playoffs. Oh, and one other thing, Shohei will pitch at some point. I think that's the way most people feel.
That's fine. I mean, we've said that. We said that's what the Dodgers are thinking about. We're just waiting for the postseason with them. So we've kind of created this narrative, Chris Rose.
Yes. Yes, because I have several times on this show said that it is a 6-month tryout for the best 26 and healthiest 26 dudes to get on whatever round they play in, whether that's wild card or round, the divisional series, whatever it is. That's what it feels like. You just gave me.
Are they going to trade for a center fielder? I really feel like they are.
Well, there was that report Bob Nightingale had the other day that they're still sniffing around on Luis Robert.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense for them.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Since that tremendous whatever it was 7 or 8-0 start, they've been
Yeah,
that's kind of what they've been. And then Bobby Miller came back and pitched last night and looked horrible. Once again, that is truly an audition. You're going to be seeing a ton of guys. Kershaw just had a 3-inning rehab stint down in AAA. And so he's going to come back at some point. How often is he going to pitch? They've got to try and get Glasnow right. Blake Snell is on the injured list. It's going to be a revolving door of players. All I know is that if they do win the World Series this year, they're going to have to hand out about 90 player rings next season.
I feel like they do this every single year where they're dealing with injuries. They just have enough depth, whether it's the guys they brought in, whether it's their minor league depth. Like, this seems like this happens all the time with the Dodgers.
All the time. They're going to have, I bet you they're going to have a dozen guys that start games. And I'm not talking any openers involved. That's what it feels like.
Some of it's self-inflicted. They get guys with injury histories. We talked about this before. They don't really care about that. So sometimes they do it to themselves. But yeah, I mean, we give a lot of crap to other teams who, like the Yankees, for instance. We talk about them and they can't keep anybody healthy. But it feels like the Dodgers are always juggling that as well.
Mm-hmm. Hey, leave a comment. How much do you care about Shohei? Is like the next step for him to get back on the mound before you really, really pay attention, or are you following him as closely as you have in recent years? I'm curious. Both of us are curious. Leave a comment. And while you're there, don't forget about Friday's AMA show. Yeah, go do that. All right, today's episode of Baseball Today, it is sponsored by True Classic. True Classic has one mission: to make sure guys look good and feel even better. They've nailed fit, feel, and price across your entire wardrobe. Not just tees, but hoodies, jeans, activewear, everything you need to level up your everyday style. I love it. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. I love their array of colors, particularly the t-shirts. I'm a big, like, solid t-shirt color guy. I just feel like I can wear it anywhere. If I'm going to the ballpark, if I'm going out to dinner here in Los Angeles, I just feel like it fits good. People are like, oh, you look like you're, losing a little bit of weight. I always like that feeling too. So it kind of makes me feel better. I am losing weight, by the way. So the point here is that True Classic isn't just about great clothes. Their brand DNA is built on being highly intentional in everything they do, from creating high-quality essentials to making folks laugh with hilarious ads to delivering Ritz-Carlton-level customer service to giving back to the communities they believe in. Every detail, it is done with a purpose. So forget overpriced designer nonsense. Skip the cheap throwaways. True Classic delivers premium essentials built for real life. Grab yours at Target or Costco, or head on over to trueclassic.com/today to get hooked up. So once again, if you need something in your wardrobe, you're thinking, where should I go? Where should I go? True Classic, always on the tip of your tongue. You'll look better. You'll feel better. Go ahead, caller.
I saw True Classic had a display in Costco, and it was awesome. So, like, they did a really good job. Whoever came up with that, like, display, good job.
You went to Costco recently.
I love Costco. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Costco guy. Yeah.
What's the must have when you're in there?
A little bit of everything, Chris. I like to buy, like, I like to cook. If I'm gonna grill, I want to grill a bunch of stuff. So I get, I'll go get the fillets there. The tri-tips are good, but it's a lot of meat, but I like that, so I have leftovers. So I'll definitely always get some meat there. There was this one, like, zero added sugar cereal that I was on for a while, but I got off that. Too much carbs.
Oh,
Just trim this down for the summer.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
You look good, though. You look good, even without
Thanks,
sleep.
dog.
All right, I got good news, bad news for the Atlanta Braves. The good news is Spencer Strider was back, first time over a year. Struck out the first two men that he faced. He pitched into the sixth. Braves lost 3-1. They fell to 5-13. But you know what? Their starting pitcher has not lost hope.
We're not in a great position at the moment, and that's fine. It's early, still in the season, and people want to doubt us. That's great. Bring it on.
Let's start with just the reemergence of Strider. He is so different from everything, the way he looks to the way he throws the ball. He's not a huge guy, and still it feels like the ball comes out of his arm a bazillion miles an hour. It's just great to have him back doing his thing.
I agree. I mean, I liked it. I can only imagine what Braves fans are thinking right now, seeing him back on the mound. I know they got the loss yesterday, but that's got to be just so welcome to see that slider and that fastball. And I think the attitude is something that the Braves need, like getting him back on the mound, and he can be around the clubhouse, but it's different. If you're on the IL, it's just your voice is different. It's just how it goes. So to have him back on the mound and then to get in front of the press and say those things, I mean, that jump starts a clubhouse a little bit. Who cares? Like, let's go do this. No one cares what the press is talking about. No one cares what anybody else is talking about. It's about us in this clubhouse, and Spencer Strider bringing that message. I mean, I love it for the Braves.
He also struck out his 500th career batter, and I think he's got 335 innings logged or some ridiculous number. Dude, just stay healthy. You know, this is his second major arm injury that he's had. Let's say that's it for your career. Okay, I'm good with the injury stuff. Stay out there. You're really fun. The other side of this is that the Atlanta Braves batter struck out 19 times on Wednesday. Chris Bassett has been great so far for Toronto, and he had double-digit strikeouts. But when your top two guys in the lineup, Michael Harris and Austin Riley, each have 4K games, I mean, those are veterans now that we've got to rely on. Even Matt Olson, who virtually says nothing questionable, was like, yeah, this shit has got to stop. We know it's early, but this has got to stop. He literally used those words about it. Does it feel a little slippery here?
It does. I mean, first of all, give credit to Chris Bassett last night. Like he's absolutely filthy right now. He's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball right now. He's slinging 5 or 6 different pitches up all around the zone. I mean, he's got control of all of those. So it turns into 10 different pitches you got to look for. And if that's the case, I always say this: if a pitcher has 3 pitches that he's really locating for strikes, you're in for a long day. Bassett has 5 of them that he locates for strikes. Then they're all different shapes, and he's kind of got a little bit of funk with the delivery. So I want to give credit to him. But yeah, the Braves, you know, it's a feeling, man. And they say hitting's contagious. Well, sometimes those like strikeouts are contagious. Guys start moping around the dugout, and like they're just not. There's that feel is gone. That energy is gone. And whatever it takes. I mean, if you gotta, I know this is kind of my answer for slumping all the time. If you got to throw a few bunts down here and there just to change it up, like you got to do something to get off of what the Braves offenses look like early on in the season. Something's got to change. Whether that's one day where they just go and say, we are not striking out today. Whether, you know, choke up as much as you have to, hit a ground ball to second base, whatever it is, you got to do something to get out of that funk. And then, you know, go back to your regular routine. But you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, Chris.
Well, for them, I think they feel like a return home will do them some good. They're 2-11 on the road, so they have played an exceptional number of road games. They'll open up a 6-game homestand with your Twins on Friday, and then St. Louis, who we talked about. You talked about their offense the other day, but still, they're just a meh team for the most part. Then they hit the road for Arizona and Colorado before returning home for the Dodgers and the Reds.
Hey, I think the Cardinals
in a couple of weeks. You know,
the Cardinals might be the most slept-on team in baseball right now, Chris.
Who?
The Cardinals. The way they're hitting the ball, the way they're throwing the ball, they have high-end relievers, like leverage guys. Helsley's probably one of the best relievers in the game. Like I'm just saying, right now, they look really, really good.
They're 500.
A lot of teams are right around there right now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is that when you see the St. Louis Cardinals on your schedule these days, it's not like the Cardinals of yesteryear. I think that they're battling some demons too.
I'm just saying, don't sleep on them. That's all.
Fine. They've been off to a nice start. There's no question. And until you pointed out how well their offense has played, I really hadn't given it much of a thought. So that part is good. I think they are better than expected through 18 games, but they're not a team that I'm going to say, oh yeah, then I'll watch out for them. I think they're really going to push the Cubs or Brewers in the Central. I don't see that. Okay. The last thing about the Braves, they're scoring less than 3.5 runs per game. And maybe some of that is maybe we just didn't appreciate Ronald Acuna enough, you know, that he would lead off a game, get on base, steal a base, get in scoring position very quickly. And it feels like they'd get a cheap run in the first, maybe not a cheap run, but they'd score a run in the first and they'd apply the pressure from there on out. And that just hasn't happened. Now, Acuna did get the cleanish bill of health, and it sounds like he'll be back hopefully in the next month, and maybe that'll change things. But I think we're all going to be curious to see after his second ACL surgery what he will look like on the base paths.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that they need desperately right now. The return, I mean, obviously the skill level, but the energy that he brings as well is something that they need.
Yep, they do. They do. Vladdy, he was all smiles finally. He got his $500 million extension, but he extended that. as in his first home run of the season. It came in front of the home folk just a few days before officially agreeing to the extension. And do you think he noticed in the dugout?
About fucking time.
That's good right there. That's good.
Oh, I love that. And now by the way, like, it wouldn't surprise me. What day are we on? We're on April 17th. If he hits 4 more before the end of the month. Like,
oh yeah, he could get red hot. He's been hitting the ball well, just hasn't really hit for power yet. Him and Bo. I think collectively we have like 6 or 7 extra base hits. The rest singles. They're both hitting close to 300. The power just hasn't come yet.
Yeah. That was funny though. That made me laugh. All right, let's get to Pittsburgh. Weird game. Pirates and Nats. They got into it. Jorge Lopez was on the mound for Washington. He hit Brian Reynolds first, and then he threw one behind Kutch's head, which led to the benches being emptied, and Lopez eventually got ejected. A few things here. There are some that felt like Reynolds and Kutch, they both took Lopez deep when he was a Cubs reliever last year. And then the other point was that the day before, Mitch Keller hit Paul DeJong in the face, ended up fracturing his nose. So Pirates skipper Derek Shelton brought up both those points last night after the game.
Knowing the situation, I mean, if this stems from something that happened yesterday, Mitch did not try to hit Paul DeJong in the face in a 1-0 game. I mean, it was totally accidental. So, if this was retribution for that, then that's just lack of awareness.
Were you aware at all of those two? Like, Brian and Kutch both hit a homer off of him last year in Chicago as well. Was there any conversation about that?
No, I'm aware of it because, well, number one, I was there, and I think Kutch's was like in the 8th inning of a game, right? So, yeah, I mean, but, every game's different, and every situation's different. So, like, if we're stemming that from a game last year in August, like, we gotta be better than that.
Okay, so Lopez, for his part, said that it had nothing to do with these homers that he gave up to Reynolds and to Kutch. It was, I think, a 4-run 8th. And he did apologize for his role in this thing, and he said he had no ill intention. But does this one feel a little fishy to you?
I mean, it looks bad, but there's just no way he's throwing at these guys for hitting a homer off him last year. That's just insane stuff. There's just no way that's the case. If there was a little retribution for Mitch Keller hitting Paul DeJong, like, I could see that happening, but 2 guys in a row doesn't make sense. You hit one guy and that's it. Obviously, Mitch wasn't trying to hit Paul DeJong yesterday, so there's no intention there. But there are times where guys say, "Hey, we got to protect our players," but 2 guys doesn't make any sense. So I do think this was like on accident. I think Kutch even said it after the game. He didn't think there was any intent. The problem I have, and this is like pitchers, like, listen to this: don't walk toward the hitter and try to like apologize. It's like no batter first of all, doesn't want to see you after something like that. And the fact that you walk closer, that just gets everyone fired up. Just stay on the mound. You can give a, "Hey, I'm sorry," from the mound. Like, don't approach. I think that's what got everyone riled up. So I don't think any of this was intentional. It looks really, really bad. But that's like my one takeaway is like, don't walk towards the batter. Even if you're trying to apologize, just keep your distance.
I am a Law and Order expert. I've seen, I believe, every episode ever of the show. So I feel like I essentially have a law degree.
Okay.
I think they would call that circumstantial evidence that they would be putting in. Like, build the case. Well, he gave up 2 homers last year. Well, his teammate got hit in the face the night before. Yeah, it's my least favorite thing that I have to talk about is intent, because I've never stood on a major league mound. So for me to think I was definitely throwing at somebody would be extremely irresponsible, is what I have to say. I don't think he did it, but I don't know 100%. So I will let the guys speak their piece, and everybody else can make up their minds. I didn't like Lopez turning to Kutch and it looked like he called him soft. I don't care how hard you throw. I would imagine that if you stand in there in the batter's box for a living and you have a baseball come at your head, that does not make you soft if you're upset about it. Sorry.
I didn't see him say soft, but if he did, That's soft. You're a pitcher who just stands on the mound, never has to get in the box. Like that's, I don't know. You know how I feel about all this stuff, Chris. Don't get me riled up right now.
I will say this, though. I think we need a good baseball fight. It feels like a really long time since we've had a good, fun one. I am not an advocate for violence normally, but I feel like we show the same old ones over and over and over again. We haven't had a good one in a while.
Nobody I don't want to fight. Nobody wants to fight like that, Chris. You
just
don't wish for that. I'll fight you. Let's fight on camera. The people will like that.
How were you as a fighter as a kid? Good?
I've been in 2 fights without baseball brawls. You know, I've been in a couple, nothing crazy, but I've been in 2 fights in my life. I'm 2-0. Never started the fight. Don't want to fight anybody, but I'll do what I have to do.
I'm 0-3. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
I got sucker punched by Don Chocote on the bus. I told you this.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. A sucker punch doesn't mean you're 0-3. Or that's not a loss.
Well, the saxophone from me off the bus. And so it was almost like a hockey fight. They like pulled my sweatshirt over my head so I couldn't see. And I was like flailing. And I think I accidentally hit Don Chocote, who was a hockey player and a year ahead of me and really not a bad guy at all. But I think I hit him. And so I was just sitting there and he fucking punched me in the jaw. Really hurt.
Gosh.
Really hurt.
It's like a disturbing story.
It was not good. I was not an excellent fighter. I'm not
0-3?
Oh yeah, 0-3. But that was the last one. So as a freshman in high school, it's been easy since then. No fights. I win verbal warfare, Plouffe. That's how I take people down.
Yeah.
Whatever. Not quite accurate, but something like that. Today's episode, Baseball Today, sponsored by DirecTV. With DirecTV, you can watch your MLB games completely satellite free. No satellite dish required to enjoy the game that you love. What makes DirecTV even better? You can watch your MLB games completely satellite free. Yes, you heard that right. No satellite required to enjoy, once again, the game you love. Baseball isn't just a sport. It is a true passion, and DirecTV is your home for baseball. Ready to transform your baseball watching experience? Head on over to directtv.com/JohnBoy, or you can scan the QR code on the screen to learn a little bit more. It's the way I sit and watch the games every night and get ready for baseball today and do my research for dugout discussions. You should do the same. Hang out with us at DirecTV. All right. Before we get out of here, Matt Strahm, Philadelphia Phillies. Well, he gave us an interesting look. Phil's reliever, he's been called the stunt double for Nick Cage. The Declaration of Independence, it played a major role in Cage's movie National Treasure. Yes, he had the Declaration of Independence put on his mitt. How amazing is this?
I love it, man. Matt Strahm's a character. He really is. And I never really put 2 and 2 together, the Nick Cage, Matt Strahm thing. Is that like an internet?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that picture is money right there. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm into all the cool looking gloves, Chris. I'm a big fan. I actually have a couple right here. Let me go get it. Hold on one sec.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that did look like Nick Cage's face on Matt Strahm. You're right, Dan Rourke. For that. Oh, that's nice.
So I had this glove. I did it for Matthew, my friend. I went a little bit with like the mint green, little 9 right there for him, the camo back. No stamping. Oh, no, there is stamping inside. But love stuff like this. I could design gloves all day. Rawlings, I'm going to hit you up. I got a show to pitch.
That is that's pretty good. Did you get one for Tutu Atwell as well, or just Matthew?
Matthew and Kelly got gloves.
That's adorable. Have you guys played catch on this strip?
Of course.
How's his baseball throwing?
He's great. He can sling it. You got all the arm angles. I actually have to catch for him. He's has to keep his arm in shape with a football. So you can see right here, I have a bruise. 100 throws I took. Chris didn't drop one of them.
Well, it sure as hell looks like you dropped
crap
one.
at. No, I caught that one.
Oh, you caught it without your hands. You caught it in your
Well,
no.
dude, by throw 70, my hands were hurting, dude. So I had to body a few up. I mean, the
No.
guy freaking whistles them in there.
Travis Hunter at the Colorado Pro Day did not wear gloves intentionally because he said he wanted the scouts to hear the ball hitting his hands, because if you hear this, that means you're double catching the ball, which you do not want in the NFL. You want no air once the ball hits your mitts. So,
Okay.
yeah, you just got to catch it. Just let's go, man. You're a third baseman.
I caught them all. I caught 100 throws. I caught every single one of them. Just saying, it's hard. And I had the gloves. By the way,
some more video of this?
Wide receiver gloves are more of a cheat code than any torpedo bat, anything like that. Those things are ridiculous.
That is true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay.
Spencer Strider, we throwing up the quads. Why not?
What's up with this?
I think is that what Saquon Barkley would look like if he was in a baseball uniform?
It's the high tops with the pants like that. It's an interesting look. We always talk about how big his feet are. Those are size 17 shoes or something.
What?
No, I'm just saying they look like it. They look like skis.
Dude, those quads are insane. Ridiculous.
Okay.
All right. Everybody's got a little bit of homework tonight. Don't forget it's AMA Friday, but I would need those questions in by Thursday night. Let's make the cutoff by 10 o'clock Eastern. So leave them in the comments. I'll be doing the show solo on Friday. So let's all be team players, lend a helping hand, make some of the questions fun and entertaining, make some as baseball-y as you want. We'll get to a handful of them. We'll do this together because my man Trevor Plouffe, he needs to have the rest of his vacation. He deserves it. He is a hardworking man, and when we're on vacation, not everybody brings their work with them. He's good enough to join us right now while doing that, but he deserves a Friday off with his family. I think we can all agree with that.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
A few other programming notes. Don't forget to check out the latest Blitzball game in the chat Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Tournament's been a lot of fun so far, and we're already inching closer and closer to the playoffs. So let's get in on that. Don't forget about Dugout Discussions with Chris Rose. Shota Imanaga is our latest guest. Michelle and I take to the streets for a new fun little baseball game show called Salary Cap. We also have questions with the Queen. And next week's episode will be Freddie Freeman of the LA Dodgers. He was great. Interviewed him on Tuesday. It was awesome. All right, dude, enjoy the rest of your vacation. So you're back at it on Monday, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Travel safe. Are you going to catch more passes for Matthew or not?
I don't think so. I think we're done.
If he needs to,
a couple days,
video it. I want to see some of those.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see somebody. Somebody needs to video it from like behind you and see what it's like trying to catch one of those balls.
If you haven't caught a ball from a quarterback, which I'm sure a lot of people haven't in their life, it's different. Okay, I've played a lot of catch with like my friends and some baseball players, whatever it is. It's different. That ball is.
I'll leave you with this story. I was a Browns ball boy in high school and my first couple of years of college for training camp. So I did work the preseason games. The Browns had a backup quarterback named Mike Pagel. His brother was actually a Major League Baseball player, Carl. And Mike used to do this. At the end of warm-ups, before the teams went back into the locker room before the game, he'd always have me sprint down and he'd want to air it out as far as he could. So little chubby Rose would have to run 60 yards down the field toward the dog pound. Ball is in the air, and I'm feeling so much. I'm like, oh, my God, if I drop this, they are going to kill me. There were times where I would drop it, but there were other times I would catch it, and they'd cheer for you, and you'd turn around.
Love that.
Yeah, it was nice.
You want to come say hi?
Who do we have?
Come on. Quick. This is Chris Rose. You got to get closer.
Hi.
I don't want to say hi.
Okay, she doesn't want to say hi.
I understand it. Believe me, I totally get that. All right, go have fun with the rest of your vacation. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented and soon-to-be vacationing, finally, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. I will see you Friday.